All right. Now, what we're going to teach you is how to complete your worksheets, quizzes, and tests for dosage calculation in Blackboard, okay? And in class, I'll show you exactly how to get to your Blackboard section for this. This is open in one of my temporary spaces so that I can videotape it for you today. So when you open your worksheet, you're only going to see one problem at a time. You're going to recognize that your problem has already been broken down to help you out right now into physician order, available medication, and what is the question? Okay, so let's read this question. Convert the following measurement for medication administration. Conversion required 1,500 micrograms. Do you see that C between the M and the G? Okay, that's a safety error right there. I mean, you got to pay real close attention. 2 milligrams. Question. Using dimensional analysis, convert 1,500 micrograms into milligrams. So you know your question is asking for the unit of measure in milligrams. This is your first fraction to the left of the equal sign, okay? And it placed milligrams in the top for you. You're asking for milligrams. So to the right of the equal sign, you're going to see red boxes. If you are colorblind, please let an instructor know so that we can double check and make sure we go over this with you so that if you can't see the colors in Blackboard, it's still going to make sense to you. Because you will see the box that you put units in always says unit. The box that you put a number in always has a question mark in it, okay? So when you click this divot next to the word unit in the green box, it gives you a drop down and a scroll bar. So if you click on the scroll bar, you can scroll all the way down. It gives you lots of choices of what you want, okay? But our question asks for milligrams, and we know that the numerator position to the right of the equal sign must match what's to the left. So if it says milligrams on the left, it must say milligrams on the right. So let me find milligrams. There it is, milligrams. Click on milligrams. It filled milligrams into the box for me. Okay, let's go back. It said to convert 1,500 micrograms to milligrams. Okay, so that's going to require a conversion factor first, okay? And you've memorized your conversion factors. So 1 milligram, lost my keyboard there for a minute. Okay, 1 milligram is equal to 1,000. Do you know how much? What are we looking for? What were we given? Micrograms. 1 milligram is equal to 1,000 micrograms. That's one of those conversion factors that we have to memorize. So if micrograms is on the bottom of this fraction in the denominator position, it must be in the numerator position of the next fraction in order to cross cancel. Okay, so I'm going to go up and grab micrograms again and put it at the top so I can cross cancel it. All right, can't add anything else here, but micrograms, oh yeah, my available 1,500 micrograms. So I'm going to put 1,500 in this box. Okay, now I don't have a unit of measure for under this fraction, but it gives me one. For the unit of measure, you always leave it blank if you have nothing to put there. But your numeral, because this is understood 1, you're just going to put a 1 in there, okay? Now you're done because we can cross off micrograms and micrograms, and the only thing left is milligrams, and that's what our question asked us for, okay? So 1 times 1,500 is equal to 1,500. 1,000 times 1 is equal to 1,000. Okay, now I'm going to divide this numerator by this denominator, 1,500 divided by 1,000. And when I do that on my calculator, unless you're really good at doing stuff in your head, you're going to get 1.5. And now there's a slider here, so I can slide over because some of these problems are going to be really long. Okay, so you'll need that slider to keep moving over to get everything in. All right, so what was my final unit? My final unit should be micrograms crossed out, micrograms crossed out. Oh, milligrams. Milligrams is what they asked me for. So I'm going to enter milligrams. Milligrams. All right, I think I have entered everything correctly. I'm going to click check answer and look at that. Correct, 1.5 milligrams. And it showed me everything was entered correctly. Once I finish that problem, sometimes you may find it helpful in the beginning to work out your problems on paper first and then enter the data into the computer when you're ready to complete your worksheet. That's totally fine, whatever works best for you. You have unlimited attempts at worksheets. If you get it all wrong or you don't like your grade, go back and do it again. You can do it again as many times as you want. Remember, this is a learning process and we want you to learn. We want you to get a good grade, okay? Now, quizzes, you only get one shot at. Tests, you only get one shot at. So you do need to practice, and if you need practice problems to work on in between, let us know. We'll give you practice sheets to work on. Down here on the right is next. So click next. All right, next problem. Here we go. Physician order. Convert the following measurement for medication administration. Available. Conversion required. 1 liter to milliliters. Milliliters just being the measure, not the numeral 2. Question. Using dimensional analysis, convert 1 liter into milliliters. Okay, so let's start. The first unit of measure that we are looking for goes on the top. It's already there for me. Equals. Okay, it must be milliliters here. And milliliters usually lives up there. All right. Okay. Didn't give me much information there. So again, as soon as you see, well, it really didn't give me a lot of information, that should be a trigger in your mind. Oh, I need a conversion factor. All right. So let's see. Liters. Okay. So it's going to be 1 liter is equal to 1,000 milliliters. All right. I put that in there. And then what we're looking for is 1 liter. Oh, that's not bad. All right, so put 1 liter here. Now, why am I putting 1 liter in the numerator position of the next fraction? Because liters is in the denominator position of the fraction before, and I must cross cancel them. Cross out, cross out. I'm left with milliliters, which is what I want. All right, so I've done everything right. All I need to do is put my understood 1 in here so that it's all good. Now, I am going to do something wrong on purpose because I want you to see what it looks like when you do something wrong. All right, let's say we're going to put a unit of measure in here. I just picked any one random. And now I am going to multiply wrong. Okay, so 1,000 times 1 is 1,000. Okay, and 1 times 1 is 1, but I'm going to accidentally put a 2 in there. All right. So that's going to give me the wrong answer. So 1,000 divided by 2 is going to be 500. So my answer is probably going to be wrong too. And I think I'm going to get milliliters because that's what they were asking me for. All right, now watch. If you put stuff in wrong, you hit check answer, it says 1 or more fields are wrong. Highlighted in red. Check every number and unit. So this is why if you do have color blindness, let us know so that we can help you as you work in Blackboard. See here, I put minutes in and it's highlighted in red, so that was wrong. We knew that. Shouldn't have anything there. Now it's saying this fraction is wrong. Okay, the 1,000 would have been correct. 1 times 1, it should be 1. And then this should be 1,000. So this was wrong too, but I got the milliliters right. But it doesn't give you credit for having your units of measure correct or getting the right answer. You have to have everything correct to get the points for this question, okay? All right, it doesn't let you do it over, but you can do the whole worksheet over if you want to. Let's go to the next one. All right, Let's do one more together, and then I will show you how to write them out on paper as well, okay? This question says, convert the following measurement for medication administration. Conversion required 1,500 micrograms into milligrams. Using dimensional analysis, convert 1,500 micrograms to milligrams. It started me out with milligrams. Okay, so we must put milligrams in this numerator position. All right, and we have to convert. So this is going to be our conversion factor, though, as I've mentioned several times, that these metric conversions usually always start with a conversion factor, but that does not hold true. It's not a true pattern. It's not always going to be first, okay? It might be your third fraction that you need the conversion factor. But right now it's going to seem like that's part of the pattern, and it's not. All right, so we need micrograms down at the bottom because that's our other unit of measure. And there are 1,000, right? Check your cards, 1,000 micrograms in 1 milligram. I think we've done this problem already, but that's okay. Micrograms on the bottom here, you're going to need micrograms in the numerator position here so that you can crisscross them out. Go back to your problem. It said 1,500 micrograms. So that 1,500 goes in this box. This is going to get your understood one, and we're not going to do anything to these units because we don't need to. There's no units to put in there. All right, we've done it correctly because micrograms crosses out, micrograms crosses out. All that's left is milligrams, and milligrams is what we are seeking, okay? 1 times 1,500 is equal to 1,500, okay? 1,000 times 1 is 1,000. 1,500 divided by 1,000 is equal to 1.5. 1.5 what? We're looking for milligrams, so we're going to put milligrams in here. Let's check our answer. Ta-da! We did it right again. All right, so that is your introduction to how things work in the computer. You may be feeling, right now, and that's okay. We will work with you. We will help you out. The sooner you get in there and start pushing the buttons, the better. And just remember, you have unlimited attempts at each worksheet, okay? So that'll help you in the beginning as you get adjusted to how this computer system works, okay? I'm going to pause and switch over to how to write it out on paper. All righty, so let me try to remember the wording of that problem. I think it was convert 1,500 micrograms into milligrams. Okay, so that's the same problem I'm going to do writing it out. There are two ways that you can write this out. One is called a T-bar, which is really just a T on its side, and each section represents a fraction, and these bars in between, like I'm going to draw right there, means multiplication. Okay, so you can use a T-bar, perfectly acceptable for doing this. I'm going to use the fractions because that's what you're going to see in the computer. Okay, so we know that we want our answer to appear in milligrams. Okay, so we want our question is milligrams. Our available is 1,500 micrograms. And I always write those off to the side when I'm breaking out my problem, okay? All right, so now we always begin with a fraction, and we always put in the numerator position of the first fraction what we're looking for, which is milligrams, okay? I don't really need anything under it. I can just say 1 because it's an understood 1. Then comes that equal sign, okay? Another fraction bar. So the first thing I need to do is put in my logic. Milligrams equals milligrams, all right? Okay, this is going to need another conversion factor. Okay, so for every 1 milligram, there is 1,000 micrograms. Then you have a multiplication symbol, which could be the X, a dot. You could use parentheses, and in between is where the multiplication is. Whatever works for you that you're familiar with using. The X seems to work for me, so in goes the X. You're going to get another fraction bar there. And micrograms is on the bottom of the first fraction, so micrograms must be in the numerator position of the second fraction. What's available? 1,500 micrograms. I can now cross off microgram and microgram. They're gone. All that remains is milligrams. Well, happy day, because milligrams is what my question wanted, okay? All I have to do now is the math. 1 times 1,500. There's an understood 1 under there. 1 times 1,000 is 1,000, and that is going to equal 1.5 milligrams. Okay, that's how you're going to write the problems out if you were just writing them out before you enter them into the computer. Whichever way you want to do it is perfectly fine. You just do what works best for you. The trick is you must follow the pattern that we're teaching you, okay? And once you get a handle of this pattern, the other thing I want you to know, like right now we're working with milligrams, micrograms, and liters and milliliters. It does not matter what unit of measure your question's asking you for, whether it's an IV flow rate, capsules, tablets, liquids, milligrams. It doesn't matter. Weight, time, it, it's all units of measure, and it's all going to follow this same format. Okay, you're going to learn how to set up this pattern by making sure you do milligrams or whatever you're being asked for equals, same at the top, and that's what's going to begin your cross cancellation. Okay, we can do as many problems in class as you want to. And you can certainly reach out to me, I'm Pat Hoffheiser, or any of your instructors, and we will help you work with the math. And don't forget, the Math Center is always available to you. You can reach out to Julia Callahan. She knows everything about this style of math that we're teaching, and she also can help you to get on track. All right, so that wraps up dimensional analysis. I look forward to seeing your work, and we're off to a great, safe start. Have a good day.